Hey, what's up everybody? It's John with Crippled Fox Gaming. It is now 2023 and I'm getting back on the horse of doing stuff. So this is going to be some hobby stuff. I'm going to do a quick speed paint of how I painted my Asterian Marionettes. And I'm going to put it up here and I hope you enjoy it. And it's good to have you back. We're going to be putting out some more content this year. A little bit more than last year. So see you on the other side. Here it goes. Okie dokie. So here is how I painted my Asterian Marionette. It's a very simple paint job because I had to paint 40 of these things. And so what I'm going to do, I'll show you how this happened. And it's really super easy. What I've done is I've painted each step as I've gone along. And I'm going to show you how I did it. I prime everything in white. I've been doing this for quite a while now because I was really tired of painting over black with 8 or 9 or 10 thin coats of things. So what I did, James Wapple did something called a tinted base coat, and what it is you paint your stuff and you let the natural colors and shadows fill in where you want. And what I used for this is a transparent yellow or a clear yellow from Reaper Minis, and this is what I'm going to do with this. And I'm just holding these by my hand. It's just going to be just quick and dirty. So I'm going to thin this down a little bit so it's a little bit like milk, so it'll kind of sink into where I need it to go. There we go. You'll be able to tell I haven't painted in a while, or haven't done anything on camera for a while, by how much I'm going to stop and kind of redo and reshoot some stuff. And I'll just go back over and paint. Redo my base once I'm done. This is more for your benefit because I missed you guys. This is literally just, there's a lot of new techniques that are coming out. There's the slap chop technique, which is it used to be called glazing, and it's been called things for hundreds of years. And the more people it gets into the hobby, the better, because this is a great hobby and it's fun, and it lets you scratch that creative itch if you've got it. So the first step I do is I'm just going over this and just getting all the color I want in this. And this clear will kind of, it's a little bit lighter. Painting yellow over white is kind of the trick to painting yellow, unless you want to do 8 or 9 coats of things. But who's got time for that? So this took a minute and a half or so. So then what you'll do is, as you go through, like I said, I painted 40 of these things. So I'm going to set this off to the side and put a little fan on it. But not for this. So for this case, I grabbed the right one. This is what it ends up looking like. It's, it's a nice even color. I've got all this stuff. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe off my little, I don't use a wet palette for this stuff because this isn't competition stuff. This is tabletop ready, and off you go. So let me grab my thinner brush. Get yourself an orange paint. This is the oldest army painter paint I have, because this is all I use it for. I use it for its lava orange, and it is so pigment dense that if you water this thing down, and you could paint over it. It's how I painted my obsidian golems and stuff. And just take a little dot of it and slip it into a crack. It'll show up like it's, like it's self-luminous. And all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna ink, or I'm gonna just kind of draw this in here. And you can see that yellow is gonna stick out. Well, it's also gonna hold a little bit of that paint. So if you need to go back over it, let me get a little bit more in there. And then I'm going to do the little things on the arms. There's these they look like little diodes, I think, and it just helps add another little piece of color in there. And this isn't any sort of, I'm painting for the camera, so it might be some screw ups, but you'll get the general idea on how this goes. And I'll go back over that because you can see it kind of bled that out. And there's one on this other side. I do that. I'm not licking my brush today because kids, don't lick your brushes. You end up with pigmentia. So I'm going to do this. do these little lights back here. There's other little dots and stuff that if you wanted to, you could go back and do those, but I am just going to just literally just kind of get these, just to give that, just to break up that, all that yellow on this thing. Let's see what I had that on that other one. Yep, that's pretty much it. That's the orange. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the No rifle, which is what this is. N-O-H rifle, not No rifle. We're not going to get into that pun exchange. And this, for this I used scale color. These guys had my first favorite, were my first favorite metallics. Scale color, cobalt, alchemy is what this is. Until, and I'm using this, but if you do, and you don't, if you haven't found pro acryl for your, well, for any paints, I've got just an ocean of paints, and yeah, either of these are super great. I'm just going to put a tiny little dot of this down, and then all I'm doing is I'm just going to paint this thing, and I'm going to paint the No rifle. I'm going to water that down a little bit more so it kind of gets in there, because the wash is going to do all the hard lifting on this model. And so, you know, it's just, I'm going to get some color on there. I think I watered it down too much. So I'm just going to go over this because I got some yellow up on this. So you know what? I'll dry brush over this later and I'll show you that. I'll show you exactly how. But then that's, you know, there's the gun, there's the weapon. And if you wanted to put an orange dot on the end of that, probably could too. But otherwise, here's 3 colors. It's tournament ready as of right now. If you want to get, you know, really hardcore about this. But then what I did after that, again, I'm going to wipe this up because I'm not doing the other, you know, however many you have to do. I haven't tried the ciphers yet because they are a little bit more, they're that the kind of rest stick that Mantic used to use. Well, they still use it. But what I'm going to do for just to fill in all the nice little gaps in there, Citadel Reikland Flesh Shade Gloss. I don't know if this is still out or not. It's been a while since I bought them. I bought a bunch of them at a time. And so I transferred it over to this because nobody likes dumping those things out on your desk. And so what I did, so I've got the 3 colors. I've got the orange. Oh, shoot. Well, okay, don't look. There's no orange on the back of this guy. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do this, and I'm going to exchange furtive glances with my new pup. We have 2 corgis now, and oh, there, yeah, I did put an orange dot on that thing, so there you go. And I'm just going to ink these and put the wash on that. And here's another thing. I'm going to make sure when I do it for the camera that this doesn't, what they call it, coffee stain it. Because what this will do sometimes is there's pigment just suspended in this medium, and it will potentially pool up, and then it leaves a nice coffee ring around different spots on your model, and nobody wants that. Like I said, this is a really easy, really quick. You can get, I painted up a whole bunch of these in 4 days. And I just literally sat down and just assembly line this stuff. And these are really nice because they don't really need to be individuals, because the way the Asterians work is they send these down, or they send the ciphers down to the planet, because they are not going to, you know, sully their hands with, you know, combat. They're going to send their ciphers or the marionettes down. See, that's already got kind of a nice, I don't really have to, I might pull a little bit of that off. And the way I do that is I'll rinse this out and kind of dry it, and then maybe I'll do a little more over here. Because what I'm going to do, once this all dries, I will go back over and dry brush it, or you could even leave it like this. I mean, hey presto, if you did just this, you'd be done. And you can do this, I've seen people do this where they paint the arms different colors, or they paint underbody stuff. And there's so many really cool ways to paint these. And it ends up looking like this. And I haven't based this because you can base however you want. So all you really want to do, I put I forgot to put, I put a little bit of this in the eye back there. I've also got the only other Army Painter things that I've got is red tone, and that's just literally for eyeballs and stuff like that. So the last thing, you want to do that, after this is all dried, and that, boy, make sure everything's dry before you start doing other stuff. Pro Acryl Yellow, golden yellow, whatever yellow you get. This company has made a white that is great. This company has made a yellow that is great. Those colors are stereo. Oh, hello. Shook it and off it went. Like, so. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to dry brush this on here. I don't think. Nope. I am going to grab a kind of a cruddy. See if I can find it. You know what else you can use? These, you get them at Kohl's. They're Elf eyeshadow brushes. They're $1 a piece. Boom. They got a ton of bristles in them. They're nice and dense. And I might, I don't know how well you can see that. It's not showing up very well. So what I might do is I might add a little bit. I might just actually, because this will kind of clean up any spillover you might get that's not quite in the lines. It also might kind of add a little bit of more color than what I used to on. I think I'm going to add a little bit of white to that, just to kind of blend it. Or let's try it just a little bit of white. Like I said, bold titanium white. It is bold AF. It covers really, really well. They have done a fantastic job at doing this. I'm gonna add. I've had the microphone down here. We get all Bob Ross and ASMR on this thing. There we go. I'm gonna do a little bit of that, and maybe here's what I'll do. I'll do just a little bit on the top, like the lights coming down on the shoulder pads, on top of the head. That kind of brightened it a little bit. I don't know how well you can see. And then what I do, because of course I went over that, I'll go back and kind of touch up some other stuff if I've done this. But literally, how long has this been? 12 minutes? I started in 1.5 minutes. That's 10 minutes. 10-minute paint job. If you had all the other stuff done. I mean, that's it. Hey presto, put a base on that, throw some, I literally just took black ballast and put it on there and glued some tufts on there. Boy, this guy looks rough. Hang on, touch this up. There you go. Clean that up. Well, that's what you get. And, all you have to do is do this 30, 40 more times, and then you've got a horde of really cheap guys for your Asterians. That's it. Thanks for stopping. Keep it crispy, everybody. And thanks for stopping. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe stuff. And there's your 10-minute paint job. Looks pretty darn serviceable. Okay, catch you later.